Waking Up Singapore. Gotta get up. The Big Show on Kiss 92. Gotta get up.
Good morning, Singapore. Welcome to Monday's edition of The Big Show and The Big Show TV. And we welcome back because last week it was a holiday.
It was a holiday,
it was.
yes.
Yes,
right.
and so we gave Nat a day off as well, and she's back. Natalie Dau, Rockstar Arms in the house. Good morning, Nat.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, nice to be back.
And congratulations, Australia, World Cricket Champions 2023! Aussie, Aussie!
Congratulations to Australia for winning the Cricket World Cup.
Okay, now, before we get into today's thing, I mean, we're talking about celebrities and their fitness routines and stuff. There was something in the news, in the papers this morning I brought up earlier, and we were all wondering about it. Core temperatures. There is a pill that runners are using, endurance runners in Singapore. They're swallowing this pill, and it is tracking their core temperatures, their internal core temperatures, and sending this real time to devices. They are then going to use this information to help with better sensors for detecting core temperatures in an endurance runner to avoid heat injury. So, question is, what's core temperature?
Yeah, I mean, it's our body temperature, right? So I find this all quite bizarre, especially if runners in Singapore are taking this, and you know, we don't know. It's not the major brands. It's not a Garmin or something that's doing this. So it's one of these, obviously, you know, medical tech companies that's launching into this. But look, we look at core temperature. Of course, it impacts our running. It impacts our organs and the ability for them to work, obviously dehydration and things like that. And you'll see, you know, professional athletes use things like ice vests before they're going out to run to cool their core temperature down. But I've never, I haven't heard of any Olympic athlete or anything swallowing a pill to measure their core temperature.
Right.
Sounds awful, right?
Yeah, no. So this pill basically is the testing phase. Later it will be on your watch. But as an endurance runner, is it important to have on your watch notifications of your core temperature?
Well, personally, I don't, because I know my body and I know how hot I am. And we live in a hot climate here, so I think everyone's semi-used to it. So I'm sort of struggling to understand why someone would do this. You know, if you're hot, you know you should be hydrating, and if you're following your plan and listening to your body, then you shouldn't really need to be monitoring it like you are your heart rate. I mean, heart rate should tell you everything. If your heart rate's elevated, then 100% there's an issue, and you should be taking notes. So I would be using heart rate first and foremost as a measure.
Okay.
Yeah, because the heart rate and, for example, blood pressure.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know. You can't feel it.
Yeah.
So you need
Yep.
a watch
A reading,
or a device
Yeah.
to give you that measurement.
Yeah.
But this core
Temperature.
I mean, Nat is absolutely right. I mean, if you're overheating, you'll know.
Yeah. Just a quick question, Nat. Is core temperature the same as temperature? Like the stuff that we read on our thermometers and stuff?
No, it's not, because, our core temperature is our body temperature, and things like, girls who like at certain times of the month, for girls, our body temperature can go up by 1 degree, depends on where we are in the cycle. So our body temperature ranges, and it's very individual. So to measure something like this, again, it is sort of quite astounding to me. I just say, look at your heart rate, listen to your body, hydrate, and if you're hot, stop, walk, cool down.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, cool.
It's time to work out with Natalie Dau exclusively on The Big Show TV. Here's Kim Petras featuring Nicki Minaj alone on Kiss 92.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird one. All right, guys, we're going to do something a little bit different today. We are going to do a 5x5x5x5 workout. So we're doing 5 squats, 5 jumping jacks, 5 push-ups, 5 mountain climbers, and 5 sit-ups. And then we're going to have 20 seconds rest after we finish all of those 5. So and we're doing it for 5 minutes. So I'll start the clock, and we're just going to keep doing these rounds. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. So 5 squats, which means I have to count today. 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to 5 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's drop. We're doing 5 push-ups. You can do on your toes or on your knees. I think I might have done an extra one of these already. 5. Okay, 5 mountain climbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the last one, we're flipping around and doing 5 sit-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so 20 seconds break, and then we're going to do it all again. I'm watching the clock. So get your breath. This is like a short, sharp, quick burst workout. And you can do this. We're doing it for 5 minutes. You can do it for 10. You can do it for 15, however long you like. Getting ready to go again. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So 5 of the squats. As you can see, we've picked up the pace a little bit for these today. All right, 5 jumping jacks. And let's drop to the ground. We've got those 5 push-ups now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 mountain climbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's flip it round and those sit-ups again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 20 seconds break. Catch your breath. We're halfway there, so pretty intense. Getting ready to go very shortly. All right, a few more seconds. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down for the push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it there for the mountain climbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And flip it round for those sit-ups. 1, 2. I'm doing butterfly ones, but you can choose to do whichever type you like today. And let's have another 20-second break. Okay, see if we can get one more round in, guys. Deep breaths. Shake it out. A bit more of a high-intensity workout today. Getting ready to go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last round. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mountain climbers. And let's flip it over for those sit-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me check the timer. I think we're done. Good job, guys.
Oh,
That was intense.
you work out too much when you say, I think we're done.
I was trying to balance the time. We wouldn't have finished another round.
Oh, right. Okay.
That is pretty intense.
Yeah.
And now we go 4 more times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're at home, I mean, you can watch this and you can repeat it as many times as you want, right?
100%. Yeah, do it for 10 minutes. Do it for However, or just do the sets of 5 and have a rest and keep going. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think if you're working out with Nat for the very first time, today's workout, I think just go 3 rounds.
Yeah, or however
Don't
many.
overdo
Yeah,
it. You know, I think the worst thing for most people is, they start a workout and they go at it, 110%, and then
They hurt.
They dread doing it again.
Yeah.
Then they don't do anything for 2 weeks because it hurts too much and it's bad memories.
Sounds familiar.
I used to be like that.
Yes. We used to hear these stories every Monday. It's like, oh, Nat, I'm aching. What did I do?
You know what my wife told me yesterday? You're a bit extreme.
Yeah? Oh, she's only realizing it now?
Wow.
Yeah. How many years has it taken for that to
You don't agree, Glenn?
So I looked at her, I'm like, that's what everyone's been telling me.
Someone's right. Okay, we'll go on air and then we'll start talking about the celebrity trends when it comes to fitness and
Sure.
What celebrity trend?
Yeah, I mean, basically, what are they up to when it comes to health and fitness?
Which celebrity?
Oh,
There's so many.
let's find out.
I have to see.
Let's find out.
Oh, okay. Stand by. Adam Lambert.
Kiss 92 traffic.
What do you want from me?
Yeah. Australian there singing that song. And congratulations once again to the Aussies for winning the Cricket World Cup. Now, turn our news to the roads and on Queensway towards AYE at the Farah Underpass, causing a little bit of congestion is an accident. Also on the TPE towards the PIE after the Pasir Ris Drive 12 exit, also an accident causing a little bit of backup. And finally on the AYE towards Tuas at Jurong Town Hall's exit, a vehicle's broken down. Wherever you are today, stay safe.
Kiss 92, all the great songs in one place. Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for today is Natalie Dau, Rockstar Arms. And we just finished a pretty intense workout with Nat.
Yes, and now we go on to intense workouts, we think, with celebrities. What are the trends right now, Natalie?
Well, we're actually going to start with drinking first and foremost. So let's talk about shots. And a big one is obviously Lewis Hamilton starting his recent new brand, which is a tequila brand. Well, it's the first super premium distilled non-alcoholic tequila. So it's an agave spirit called El Mave. And basically, Lewis wanted to live a great life and do shots and things, but not get drunk doing them. So he started this new brand, and he can't call it tequila because it's not tequila, but it tastes the same apparently.
So it's tequila like non-alcoholic tequila, which is not tequila. Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
And you're going to wake up remembering everything that you did last night.
Absolutely. And it's only 20 calories a serving, so you're not going to get fat drinking it.
No, what's the point, though?
The point is to stay healthy. That's the point.
Then don't drink at all,
I'm
right?
cutting down on my drinks. I'm
Good for you.
I think that-
seriously.
No, but okay.
People drink too much.
I've never understood the non-alcoholic side of it because people drink to get that high. You know what I mean? Do people don't particularly drink for the flavor of alcohol? Like look at vodka. It's meant to be flavorless, although you can tell when there's vodka in it, right? In a drink.
Yeah.
But people drink because they like that high. So if you have a non-alcoholic, I really don't see the point of it.
But it's versatile. So I mean, you can drink you can have as many drinks as you like, and then halfway through you feel like, okay,
You wanna switch.
I want to stop. Instead of drinking water,
Yeah.
you could have something non-alcoholic.
Like a mocktail.
Well,
I mean, that's to me, but that's my perspective of it. Like, I don't see the point.
I think options are great.
options are good. Okay, moving on.
Wow. Okay.
Moving on. Yeah, so we're not drunk, but we're going on a cruise with Deepak Chopra, who is now running cruises from Bahamas to New York. So you can go on, find out who you are, do these self-exploration workshops, a bit of mediation and yoga thrown in, all for about $5,000 US.
Bare minimum.
Yeah, bare minimum. Yes. So he's running his own cruises now. And for the men, and Glenn, you'll like this one, a really good new golf to running to swimming to office casual brand that's out is called Roan, and it's actually invested and driven by some of the NBA owners and people like Tim Tebow, the NFL star. So it's a men's athletic brand that is high quality. Think of Lululemon and Next Level Lululemon. So really nice stuff that they're coming out with.
Oh, okay.
What's the brand again?
Nice.
Roan, R-H-O-N-E.
Roan. Okay, nice.
Rhone.
We'll look it up.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we'll
for
check
that.
it out. Okay. All right, Nat, thank you for that. Let's do our second set right now. Another intense set with Natalie Dau exclusively on The Big Show TV. It is 8:16.
Kiss 92 time check brought to you by
Oh, it's specifically for men only.
Yeah, only
Very
men.
good.
So
Yeah.
Azman Harun has undergone.
Who?
Azman Harun has undergone.
Okay, guys, we are back into it. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Getting ready to go. I think we'll try and squeeze into 4 rounds. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get those squats happening. 3, 4, 5. Jumping jacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's drop for the push-ups. Now, as I said, you can do knees or toes, totally up to you. And if that's even too hard, just hold it in plank while we're doing these. All right, mountain climber time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's flip it over for the sit-ups. This time I'm going to do straight leg sit-ups, so I'm mixing it up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. All right, we've got that 20 seconds of rest to catch our breath. If you want to and you're feeling super fit and really want to push yourself, then you can always cut the rest time down as well. So you might just want to rest for 15 seconds or 10 seconds and go again. All right, we're getting ready to go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Squats again. 3, 4, 5. Jumping jacks. Right, let's drop it down for those push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mountain climbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And flip it over for our sit-ups. And you can do this with 5 different exercises if you want to as well, so you can put any combo together that you like. But this one is a good all-round workout. We're working legs, core, and arms. All right, let's catch our breath. Halfway there. All right, another 10 seconds. Getting ready to go. I think we'll squeeze in 2 more rounds. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down for the push-ups. Keeping our elbows in nice and tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The mountain climbers, let's try and bring our knees up towards our elbows when we're doing it. And let's flip it over for our sit-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Grab that rest and we'll go into our last round. Shake it out. So if you followed today, that would have been 8 rounds that we've done altogether. So good job getting ready. Let's do the last one. Finish strong into those squats. 3, 4. Jumping jacks. Okay, down for our push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mountain climbers. And let's switch it round. Last set of 5 sit-ups. 3, 4, and 5. Good job. Ooh. All right.
FD, don't bluff, FD. What was that?
I'm panting for.
Oh my
for
goodness.
Nat.
That
But
wasn't
that is
even
very
convincing.
intense. No, but that's very intense, Nat.
It was aggressive for a Monday morning.
Yeah.
Okay, Nat, we have a question that's come in via our WhatsApp. This is from Carl. He's watching us on Facebook right now. And he says when he cycles, okay, I'll read it straight off. When I cycle, my heart rate doesn't go above 175, as with my recommended maximum heart rate. During the recent Tour de France criterium, I raced in the amateur division and my heart rate reached 195, which is 20 over, but he felt fine. Is there anything he should be worried about, or is that his maximum heart rate?
Yeah, so I mean, heart rate variability is a real thing, and things that can impact your heart rate can be maybe he had extra coffee before he cycled, so that would have increased his heart rate. Maybe a bit of adrenaline and a bit of excitement. If you're racing, your heart rate is definitely going to be elevated. If you haven't had enough sleep, your heart rate will generally elevate when you exercise. Or if you're starting to get sick, that's also a sign. So it could have been any of those things, but I'm thinking maybe maybe he had a caffeinated gel before he got on the bike, or was just super pumped and excited to be there, and pushed a little bit harder maybe. So in those times, it's okay. But if you're aware that your normal heart rate and is sort of 170, and then you're pushing to 190, I'm sure that's not sustained for hour upon hour. So you're probably okay. But just be aware of what you're taking before that heart rate elevates.
And just imagine just before the race, right? I mean, or rather during the race, it went up to 195.
Yeah.
And while he was cycling, if he was worried,
about the heart rate.
About the heart rate, that kicks it up
it
again.
would have stayed at 195.
Is there a particular over that you got to be aware of though before you start to get worried? Maybe we can ask you that on air.
Okay, stand by, Nat.
I'm not giving up on you. I'm not giving up on you. I'm not giving up on you.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Look out on the PIE heading towards Tuas before the KPE exit. Avoid lane 4. An accident has been reported. Also on the PIE, this time towards the airport after the Bukit Road exit. An accident has been reported causing congestion all the way back to Clementi Avenue 6. If you're heading down that stretch or already on it, be aware that lanes 1 and 2 are taken up with a vehicle or some vehicles. Wherever you are, stay safe.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our first guest for this morning is Natalie Dau, also known as Rockstar Arms. You can follow her on Instagram at Rockstar Arms.
So Natalie, earlier on The Big Show TV, Carl had a question for you about his maximum heart rate because he recently took part in the Tour de France criterium. He thought his heart rate was 175 maxed out, but it went up to 195 during the race. But is there any sort of number that people need to be looking out for when they're at their highest rate and then they go over?
Yeah, heart rate is so personal. So unless you've had it properly tested in a lab, that 220 minus your age doesn't really work. So if you are serious about knowing, go and get tested somewhere like Coached Fitness. Do it, and they do your lactate threshold, and so you'll know exactly what your heart rate is. Now, for Carl, he might have taken caffeine He could have been a bit stressed, not enough sleep, pushed that bit harder. So that could have elevated it. And everyone, I mean, I think everyone's felt those heart palpitations, whether they're excited to compete or whether they've had too much coffee. It's the same feeling. Your heart rate's elevated. So there is no right and wrong. I would say if you are training hard and you want the knowledge, then go and get tested and find out, and you have that forever, and it doesn't change by a lot as we age. But if it's off the charts and you're not feeling great, then you're probably getting sick if your heart rate's super, super elevated.
You know, I just want to say this because I think it's a trend now among athletes, you know, pre-workout, these pre-workout drinks. And I think,
Right.
you know, you've got to be very careful before you take these pre-workout drinks, because it's not just like, you know, I think a natural thing, a natural pre-workout would be like maybe a cup of coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
But then there are pre-workout
Shakes.
powders now
Right,
that people can take. And a scoop of that with water, you know, could give you something like 300 milligrams of caffeine, which is a lot, right, Nat?
This is that stuff that people are putting straight into their mouth on TikTok, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so bad. I say, I'm with you, Glenn. Have a cup of coffee if you want. If you want to, get that heart rate up, and you're going to sweat faster. So it's fine to take pre-workout or caffeine, but no, you're going to sweat faster, which means you'll dehydrate faster if you're working out as well. So take that into account. And some people like a coffee beforehand. I don't. I like my coffee after. But that pre-workout is full of so much rubbish generally that I say, down a coffee. And you don't know actually how much caffeine you're intaking with that. At least with the coffee, you know how much you're having.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Sometimes I make a nice kopi o kosong,
Right.
and I put it in this flask and I bring it to the gym with me.
Oh, okay.
And if I feel like my energy level is going down, I just take a sip of hot coffee.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
it's nice.
I think just be careful with whatever it is you're consuming.
Yeah, because I was just blown away when I saw the label on one of these pre-workout drinks. And I was thinking to myself, look, am I seeing things right here? 300 milligrams of caffeine?
Yeah.
That could give you a heart attack.
100%, especially if you're not fit, or especially if you have heart problems that you don't even know about.
Yeah.
It's going to set it off. So, I say stay natural. There's no excuse that if you just have coffee, that answers everything.
Yeah.
And just for reference, one regular cup of coffee is about 40 mg. So that
you
already
go.
tells you 300 is like what? 7 cups of coffee.
Like what Nat always says, read the label.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Check out the
Yeah,
label.
and the same with Red Bull. You've got to be careful with taking things like Red Bull before a run, because that's maybe 3 cups of coffee. So know what you're drinking.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you very much, Nat, for joining us as always.
Thanks, guys. I'm off to have my coffee now, so have a
Nice.
good week ahead.
Enjoy.
Thanks. Bye.
See ya. Coming up next, we've got Nian Tjoe, Senior Transport Correspondent from the Straits Times. And we're going to be talking about something very, very interesting. A plant.
A plant?
Yes, a plant.
Okay, let's
Keep
talk
it right here.
plants.
Beyonce is next. Single Ladies on Kiss 92.
Of course, it's not a house plant. We wouldn't be talking about house plants with Nian Tjoe. Nian Tjoe, are you a gardener of any sort?
Horticulturalist.
Horticulturalist?
There is no soil in my house.
And there's no soil in your house.
Okay, so we're talking about this Hyundai factory.
Yes.
And it was supposed to have opened, sometime earlier this year. Oh, last year.
Yeah, there was talk about last year, then sometime this year, earlier part of this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So, can't say too much because it officially opens tomorrow.
Oh, right. Okay,
wow.
nice.
Finally.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I thought it's been delayed. No.
Yeah, no, it's ready.
Oh, now
It's
it's
ready.
ready. It's
Delay
ready.
after
I
delay after
see.
delay.
I thought it's
Finally
been
ready.
delayed again.
No.
How many car plants do we have here? This is not the only one, right?
This is the only one.
This is the only one. Oh,
This is the
wow.
only plant that will manufacture cars in Singapore.
Which is why it's so
Okay.
historic.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a big step for
Although
us.
I do contest the idea of car making. Car
Oh.
making in the sense of, you've used the idea of a plant where you start from raw materials and you end up with a finished car. This factory that they were talking about doesn't do so much of that.
It's an assembly plant.
Assembly.
Is
Yes.
it?
Right.
So it's the
okay.
coming together, that final bit when it becomes a car.
So are parts coming from everywhere else where
Yes.
then they put everything together? It's almost prefab everywhere else and then come here and
Yes, yeah.
assemble,
I mean,
right?
modern car making really involves a lot of prefab, right? So you have metal presses that actually kind of build the shape of the car already. Then you have all your various components, it's cables, it's also hard and soft stuff.
Batteries, everything, whatever goes in, yeah.
I mean, think about even your seats, right? They don't come as cows, right? You know, in terms of the upholstery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so it's all those down to those details, and there's a fair amount of manual labor as much as we think of all the robots. So I think this factory is trying to actually try out this sort of new technology of more automation where they can.
Okay.
Okay.
That's going to be quite
And
interesting.
do we know which Hyundai cars will be made here?
We know
Or
that
assembled?
is the one that we all like very much.
The
is the
Ioniq
Ioniq 5.
Yeah.
Five, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a fully electric model. Looks really cool. And
It
actually,
is nice, yeah.
yeah, the amazing thing is actually it's been around for 2 years now, and
Yeah.
it still looks so fresh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got really good design language.
Yeah.
So that's the only model that will be made here.
That's all I can say for now.
Okay.
Now that
Until
I'm
after
an
tomorrow.
EV driver, I want to try all the EVs. So I would love to try, the Ioniq
Hyundai
5. Oh,
5.
now there's the Ioniq 6.
Yes.
Is that also going to be made in Singapore? Should be, right?
Yeah.
All the Ioniqs.
Coming back on air.
Yeah.
I want to be the Ioniq man.
Oh,
As
I caught that.
Take
Ionic
the
Man.
B away.
Beyonce, Single Ladies, put a ring on it right here on Kiss 92, all the great songs in one place. Our guest for this morning, our second guest for this morning is Nian Tjoe, Senior Transport Correspondent from the Straits Times. And today we're talking about something that's very significant actually, because we're talking about the Hyundai factory.
Yes.
That's finally opening.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Yep.
And you're going to be there, of course.
I hope so.
Did you not already get the invite?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, why is this so important to us here in Singapore?
I think on one side, well, when the news was first announced, of course, our anticipation is, oh, wait, we're going to get our own cars made in
Yeah.
Singapore. Let me just deliver the bad news. It's not going to be cheap. Because the cars, although it's made in Singapore, it's not as if the taxes are drastically
different.
reduced. Yeah,
But they are reduced.
not quite.
Oh, it's not
quite,
like in
okay.
Malaysia, the
Oh.
Protons,
No.
for example.
No, that's not the practice here, and that also hints at what the factory can do for us. So far, what we know is that there's a lot of experimenting going on in the factory. Experimenting in terms of using technology, using automation to overcome what we cannot do. What we cannot do is having lots of labor. And this is a bigger picture or global picture in terms of like we want to upskill human beings to do difficult things that humans are good at, and as much as we can get robots to do the things that robots are good at.
The more time-consuming menial,
The
not
the
menial,
mundane.
but yeah,
The production line.
production line, yeah.
So what we know is that they do not use a production line in that old-fashioned thinking. I've been to a few factories in my time for car manufacturing,
Right.
and basically you have a conveyor belt, or if I like a reverse of a how you would have your sushi, right, where you have your completed food that's traveling along this conveyor line. Instead, for cars, is that it comes something lands on this line, and then robots and humans start messing around with it as it is moving down.
Right,
see.
okay.
On one side, the good thing is that it becomes very fast and efficient. But the minus, on the negative side, is that each one has to be pretty much identical to the next.
Oh, right, okay.
You
So
get
there's
what I'm
lots of room for error?
Not error, but you need a lot of volume.
Oh, right, okay.
Many of that, of the same thing. And I think what Hyundai is looking into with this technology is the ability to, say, vary. So on that, instead of having a line, they organize themselves in such a way that they're not bothered that, for us to start the factory production run, we need to build 100 vehicles. They can go down to that level of customization that we really enjoy or rather take for granted these days in this digital age.
So how many cars can this Hyundai factory assemble?
So when the news first broke, they were talking about a maximum of about 30,000 cars per year.
Okay.
So, but you see, we go back to the idea that they're using this place as a lab, as a place to test. So, what my feel from these interactions with the people from the factory is that they're not gunning for that number, because ultimately it's about trying out new techniques. So while they can say I can build 30,000, maybe they only want to do a fraction of that, but the learnings from this factory is supposed to be informing how they would take the factories all around the world.
So it's almost like an R&D.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's still something very for us to be very
no,
proud
it
of.
is, of
Because
course, yeah.
anywhere in the
Absolutely.
country, let's say someone buys a Hyundai,
And
the
that was
people
made
go
in
like,
Singapore.
yes,
Assembled
made in Singapore.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's also one more thing that they're opening to the public, so you don't have to be an owner or a buyer, where you can actually do tours at these factories.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. I
Okay,
like
so
that
you can
idea.
actually see how the cars are put together.
Parts of it.
Parts of it, yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
of
one of the
course.
highlights with this factory is that right on the rooftop there is a test track.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, how big is this car?
The test track is quite, it's
Significant.
It's 800 over meters only. But the
Okay.
fun part is that it's banked at the ends. So what I mean
Banked?
by banked, yes. So let me see. Do you remember watching Cars?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, where they race on ovals, right? So
Yeah.
the car is kind of tilting on
Yes.
one way, and
Okay.
everybody's so you're gonna get a bit of an experience of that.
Oh, cute. Okay, that sounds
Yeah.
fun.
So from what I know is that you can sign up for it later on. They'll share how to get onto these tours.
and
Okay.
obviously the Hyundai Ioniq 5s will be used, or
Yes.
just the Ioniq 5s, right?
Yeah.
Okay, for now.
Yeah. So back to the old way of doing things, right? A test track like this, I mean, not on the rooftop, but everywhere else on the ground, it's actually quite an important part of them before they commission the vehicle to say this is good for customers, good for the road. So usually on these tracks, they will be testing for noise, for things, nothing falls off. Everything works according to what they should do.
Right. Okay.
Can we
Sounds-
put FD like first in line?
For
Let
the
him
test the
experience
track?
it. Yeah.
Why?
If nothing goes wrong, then I
so
will go
mean.
You see lah.
after
So
that.
mean.
Yeah.
So
I'm-
terrible.
I'm the Egyptian food taster. You know?
It's an important job.
Yeah.
All right.
See, even Nian Tjoe says it's an important job.
It is.
I like my life.
We all need someone like that in our lives. FD.
You're always the first to put up your hand, anyway. FD.
This is true, this is
Anyway,
true.
we'll continue to talk to Nian Tjoe on the Big Show TV. Here's Lady A with Need You Now on Kiss 92. I wanna try it out.
No, I do as well. So you're saying it's almost like a palindrome where it comes up at the sides, at the
Yes.
ends, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the science behind it is you need this bank so you won't fly off,
Yeah.
but also that you can actually maintain the speed.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, it's speed
um,
testing, yeah.
Yeah, so we're not going like crazy breakneck speed, but it's just the fact that when the vehicle is say going at 40 kilometers, you don't get noise and all that at the same level as what happen when you're on expressway speed about 90.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there are factories around the world where they have really high speed ones. I think I've been on one that was rated about 200 over kilometers.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and the G's that you get into when you're in the vehicle
yeah.
is quite something. But it's not so much for the thrill of it, but really to test
Test
the
it.
vehicles. Yeah, so
Especially for EVs because they go so fast as well.
actually for all
All the
vehicles,
cars,
really.
right.
Yeah, I've seen these tracks where you see big trucks and buses doing the same thing.
Oh,
that
wow.
they have to go through this. So it's always to different levels of testing, different sort of. Also, they'll have say different sort of surfaces, right? They put potholes or bumps just to see like everything's
How it
working fine.
handles.
Yeah.
This factory has got to be huge to have a test
Yeah.
track that size on its roof.
It's in Jurong.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
Jurong,
A little bit
okay.
beyond Jurong, but yeah.
Oh, what's beyond Jurong?
Oh, so it's actually specific to this area that's been coined the Jurong Innovation District.
Oh,
so this
okay.
is where at the site you have Tengah on one side, NTU and all that. You're supposed to get a lot of smarts going on, right? Yeah, where you talk about Industry 4.0, you talk about using digital technology, just doing things better.
That's a whole new Silicon Valley there.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
So back to the factory again. So we're talking about them producing Ioniq 5s.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether we asked you this question just now on air or off air, but I'm going to ask you this again. Is it just going to be EVs, or are there going to
I
be
was
other
gonna say
models
that,
as well?
Yeah.
I think the leaning is they want to keep this really EV first.
Yeah.
So but Hyundai as a concern is huge. It's is a giant of a business where we're actually getting trains from Hyundai that will be coming to our JRL as well, which is the Jurong Region line.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's one. Then they have shipping and all that. But specific to automotive, right? They are a big player for, of course, in cars, taxis, or what they call purpose-built vehicles to convey people or convey goods. They also have those. So we kind of talked a little bit on how this factory, the intention is that it's supposed to be very flexible. They don't need to build huge volume. And this also, how I interpret this is, it means that we could be on the same day building different sort of things. While one side you have, yes, the Ioniq 5 that people in Singapore want to buy, they might have something that they want to export out. And I imagine that this should be something that is a little bit higher value, lower in volume.
So we'll be exporting out to Asia, I suppose.
I don't think that there's any limitation in terms
where?
of what they can do.
Yeah.
The only concern on will be really the sort of tax environment that we'll be in, because exporting out of Singapore is into the ASEAN area, like we talk about Malaysia and all that, right?
It's going to be expensive,
Relatively speaking, because Malaysia has, or rather, rest of the ASEAN countries do have tax incentives to draw manufacturers. They do your car building here,
Yeah.
and then you're going to get all these holidays in terms of taxes. Your vehicles be very attractive.
Yeah.
We don't have that arrangement.
Yeah. Maybe it's time to think about that. Have you heard of the new Xiaomi SU7?
I've seen it.
The
Yes.
electric
seen
car.
The
Not
pictures.
in person.
The
No, it's
pictures.
not. In the
Oh,
pictures,
pictures,
yeah.
What do you think of a brand like that going into vehicles?
I think it's kind of interesting where past 100 years or so, when you have, the people that were making cars are now trying to become software people, right?
Yeah.
And on the other side, you have
consumer goods and all that.
consumer goods. You have tech companies. I mean, really, the best example we've seen is of course Tesla,
Tesla,
right?
yeah.
Came from
Yeah.
nowhere,
Yeah.
and now they tell you how EV should be. And on the other side, you have the likes of whether you're Hyundai or Mercedes or anyone else who's been around for many, many years, trying
The
to do
traditional cars.
Yes. Yeah, they are. I mean, some call them legacy manufacturers, and they are trying to get into this space. And with whether it's the tech companies like this one that we're talking about, the Xiaomi and all that, it's really interesting how they're going to interpret what consumers want. At the same time, delivering something that, I mean, I know there are dangers to using a phone. But when
Yeah.
a car goes wrong, it's
It's
the
bigger
risk is even
news as
higher,
well, yeah.
But that's the thing, right? I mean, we always think of Xiaomi and we think of phones because, I mean, that's the first thing they actually went into.
They do everything.
And now they do everything, which
Yeah.
to me actually feels a bit weird. Because, like, Xiaomi is just a brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you can put your brand on anything.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean they manufactured
You
this
can white
vacuum
label
cleaner.
anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could be a company with no name.
Yep.
And Xiaomi is just putting
Yep, their
their
badge
brand
on it.
Their badge on it.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know if something like that is a good thing.
Could that very well be like a brand like Xiaomi takes a car from somewhere else and just puts their brand on it?
Let me try to connect this. Not so long ago, also in Little Singapore, there was Dyson's announcement of building a car.
Yeah.
Yes.
They-
I saw it in their
Yeah, I remember that
office. Yeah.
that's also electric. They've got like
Yeah.
pretty cool ideas about it, and that was a venture that seems to be them going at it alone. I'm going to start ground up. I'm going to build this,
Yeah.
and that, as far as we know, that project has ended.
Right.
They're not doing
On
it.
the other side, with Xiaomi, I think the my perception is, I think with brands, this is classic marketing or something, where brands represent something. So if a Xiaomi phone is really good, then you kind of think that if they make a vacuum cleaner the next day, it should be at least as good. Yeah, so I think on that front, I will give them a chance. Yeah, but also I believe for this particular EV that we're talking about, they're not going at it alone. They're working with
Oh, are they?
yes, they're
Okay.
working with an existing relatively established car manufacturer. as
Oh,
well.
okay.
And
Okay.
it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the Xiaomi software could be in
Inside. Yeah.
in the car.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It probably would be.
And that's yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, but this is kind of an exciting time for us. As on one side we have on this table we have people who already have an EV. Then you have on the other side is people who are probably resisting a little bit, and the others are just let's wait and see. So
Yeah.
there's this spectrum of this transition is happening, and I think it will be in steps. I'm not sure what the end is or when this will be complete, but at least I mean it's nice to be in the middle of it and experience it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think education is very, very important
Yes.
when it comes to EVs. Yeah,
You think with Hyundai opening up tomorrow, it will be that door that opens up for other car brands to come here and assemble their cars here as well?
I'm not so sure. I don't think we will be limiting it to cars, but just what else is possible. Yeah, because as even as car companies go, Hyundai is pretty ambitious. Like, I mean, one of the buzzwords that's thrown around in the business is the mobility business, right? Well, this company is probably more into mobility than many others. They are involved with automation. They are involved with autonomous cars. I mean, they actually bought themselves into the company that did there are licensed to do autonomous
Cheyenne?
taxis here.
10 seconds.
So
Sorry.
I mean, it's a lot of things going on with this brand specifically.
Stray Kids with La 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 right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. It's Glenn Angel and the Flying Dutchman. Our guest for this morning is Nian Tjoe, Senior Transport Correspondent from the Straits Times.
Yeah, we're just talking about the Hyundai factory assembly line that's opening up in Singapore tomorrow. All very exciting news. And I asked a question about whether you think this opens up for other brands to sort of come into Singapore and start assembling their vehicles or other things here.
My take will be other things.
Other things, okay.
Yeah, other things in terms of, because even now with if you think about it, the promise is to eventually have vehicles that can take care of themselves. Right? We don't need to be in there. Talk about autonomous driving. So things like that it's about automation, about technology that would need the ability to test, to try that it works out. I think this is what we've been told, at least, that Singapore being small enough, there's all this infrastructure behind it, there's hopefully talents behind it that can empower the next sort of generational move in terms of where things go.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah. All right, Nian Tjoe, thank you so much for joining us today. Please let us know if an opportunity comes up for us to go down to the Hyundai factory and test out these vehicles.
Yeah, that
as in
would be
like
fun.
being what we were talking about earlier on.
I want to drive on that test track.
The test track-
The
test
test
track
track
on
for
the
sure.
roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys go first.
Okay. Thanks, Nian Tjoe. Thanks for the invite.
They won't let you in to drive the vehicle to start with, right? It's a taxi ride.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, you can't drive it yourself.
No, I
So I'm
think
putting
they're-
my life
Oh.
in someone else's hands then.
But they do it every day.
Oh,
Yeah, these will be professionals. Don't worry.
Oh.
it'll still be safer than if we drive.
Do
the
they go fast?
Vehicle.
Fast
You know.
enough, I believe.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, let them
Right.
go first.
Okay, still.
And then we can go after that, Nian Tjoe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wake up,
Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman.
wake up.
The Big Show on Kiss 92.